try, and we try. We can light the world tonight. We are tiny lights that sparkle and glow in a world much bigger than we'll ever know. We are tiny lights shining so bright in a world we know it's gonna be alright. Yeah, we know the world is gonna be alright. 'Cause we got all these tiny lights. All these tiny lights.
Good morning, and welcome to this service of worship at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tucson. We are glad that you are here. My name is Helen O'Brien, and I will be your worship associate this morning. And I have to say, I'm especially gratified to be the worship associate today because we're having a dirt communion. And in my other life, I work in dirt all the time. So dirt makes me very happy, and I hope it will you too. Our lead minister, the Reverend Bethany Russell Lowe, our lead ministers, our co-ministers are both here today. Reverend Bethany Russell Lowe and Reverend Jamili Omar. Oh, yes. Yay, and we're glad. As we gather here, we remember that we are meeting on the unceded lands of the A'atam, the Yaqui, the Yavapai, the Apache, and other ancestral peoples. COVID is now endemic in our community, so we do not ask that you wear masks here in the service or in religious education, but you are, of course, invited to wear a mask. We have committed to remaining as vaccinated as we can be, and we hope that you will maintain that commitment. If you're feeling sick, we hope you can join us from home on our simulcast YouTube. I extend a special welcome to visitors and invite you to fill out a guest information card after the service, which you can find in the Welcome Center in Goddard Hall across the patio. You will also find a digital guest information card in the newcomer section of our website. There are 2 gender-specific bathrooms in the foyer and an accessible gender-neutral restroom in the alcove behind the audiovisual desk. Moving into this sacred space of worship, we remember that our community is striving to become as varied as the blooms of the Sonoran Desert. Whoever you are, whoever you have been, and whoever you are becoming, I invite you to bring your whole self here, now. As Unitarian Universalists, one of our core values is transformation. In this multi-generational service, we can take inspiration from our children who are visibly transforming before our eyes to urge us to the important and difficult work of transforming ourselves.
Good morning. For those of you I haven't met, my name is Reverend Bethany Russell Lowe, and I am one of your ministers. It works, right? I heard some good advice this week. The advice was to start by asking what we actually know about this particular moment. And then to ask, what does this moment need? And then ask, what will our response be to the needs of this moment? We start by collecting information, though, by really looking at it and grounding ourselves in reality. So today we will do just that, although we will not consult the news or social media or any particular textbook. We will look towards Earth, but not necessarily the climate or the seasons or the weather, because those things get our minds spinning too. We are going to ground ourselves, literally and metaphorically. We are going to spend a whole hour with dirt and engage in rituals to deepen our learning and honor the wisdom and lessons of dirt together in communion, in community. We are going to practice collecting information about this one very particular thing so that we can go into our weeks and apply that same curiosity and wonder to everything we meet, so that we can start learning what is real and true in this very particular moment. And from there, we will begin to imagine what this moment needs and who we are called to be. But let's not get ahead of ourselves now, or this hour is just about dirt. These words for opening come from Elena Westbrook. She writes, "In a world ravaged by violence, by hatred, by conflicts that seem eternal and unsolvable, sometimes the only thing we can do is be still for a moment, to remind ourselves what is real. The sun that rose this morning, the dirt under our feet, the air whispering in and out of our lungs. This hour, try to just be present in each moment as it unfolds. Your simple attention is what makes these moments holy. Come, let us worship together." And we have a new practice. Before we dive into dirt, we have a new practice. About once a month, we are going to start reading our congregational covenant in worship together. And you have helped us. Can I get a little more audio in here? I think I sound a little soft. Okay. I'm going to talk louder then. We're going to do once a month. I don't need that, Dee Dee. Thank you. I'm good. About once a month, you helped us learn some hand motions to accompany our covenant. So we are going to teach you those right now. It was a few months ago, but we took pictures. We have evidence of it. So let's learn them really quickly right now. When you say, "Together we celebrate you for who you are and support your spiritual choice," you're going to say, "Celebrate you for who you are," and support, rah-rah arms, you can do it better than I can, support your spiritual choice. Perfect. You look great. When you say, "Together we create a trusting and respectful space where all are heard and honored," you're going to say, "We create a trusting and respectful space where all are heard and honored." Yeah, love it. You look great. When we say, "Together we embrace personal growth within ourselves in this community," we're going to say personal growth, like a tree growing up within ourselves and this community. Oh, beautiful trees. When you say, "Together we strive to forgive each other and ourselves with love and kindness," you're going to put hearts all over to whoever you'd like and end with yourself. Yep. And then when you say, "Together we work to build more equity and justice in our church community and the wider world," if you know the person next to you is good with holding hands, you might grab a hand or a shoulder or just put some energy. You're going to say, "Bring more equity and justice to our wider world." Raise them high. Start down low and then raise them up high. Yeah. All right, Jamelia is going to demonstrate the hand motions, and the words are going to be right behind her. You're going to read the italicized lines. Got it? Perfect. Okay. Unitarian Universalism is a covenantal community. A covenant includes agreements about how we will treat each other and the values we hold in common. All covenants, including this one, are living documents. Each congregation chooses their own covenant. This is ours. We, the members, friends, and children of the Unitarian Universalist, you're doing great, Unitarian Universalist Church of Tucson, agree to the following covenant. Here we welcome diversity. Together we celebrate you for who you are. Love it. Here we recognize the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Together, we create a trusting and respectful space where all are heard and honored. Here we practice conscious reflection and honesty with empathy. Together, we embrace personal growth within ourselves and this community. Here we remember that we are capable of causing harm and being harmed. Together, we aspire to forgive each other and ourselves with loving kindness. Here we remember that we are capable, Here we realize our community is stronger when we participate. Together, we work to build more equity and justice in our church community and the wider world. Let us promise to journey together in truth and compassion. Thank you. You look great.
Carolyn McDade, the author of our first song today, has said, and I'm paraphrasing, something that fits what we just did, I believe, which is, what would happen if we loved all of life such that our reverence shone in every moment? That in mind, rise as you are able and sing Rising Green. It's 1068 in the teal hymnal. The words will be projected on the screen.
Our earth is strong. It can hold our pain and our joy, our love and our anger. Our shared bowl, which we use for joys and sorrows each week, is strong enough to hold the big rocks, our collective celebrations and mournings, and also the smaller stones that will be added to signify our individual joys and sorrows. We who live in the desert know that water is a life-sustaining and scarce resource. Let's remember those who are walking through our desert right now without access to water. We also bring to mind those who are seeking to provide access to water in the desert as we pour water from a plastic jug similar to the ones used by our ministry partner, No More Deaths. If you have a joy or a sorrow to share aloud, I invite you to go to menti.com on your device and put in the code 35478844. If you're here in the sanctuary and want assistance to put your thoughts up on Menti, Brian Moon can help you with that. I invite those of you here in the sanctuary to come up to the table and create ripples of hope by putting a stone into the water to symbolize your joy or sorrow.
we take the time we need at the table. You know it's always here as long as you need it in whatever way, right? I'll read our mentee responses before our words of centering. Oh, thank you. Here's to us all doing the best we can in these hard times. Blessed be to all. Thank you for that blessing, friend. We all needed to hear that. Grateful for our worship team, ministers, musicians, AV, and others of this church. Thank you. Yes, thank you all. Utter joy that I have recommitted to my beloved community, sending loving support to all of you. Seeing you, friend. Grateful and relieved that my sister-in-law's nephew has arrived safely in Seattle from Cuba after crossing into Texas Thursday. So grateful for that, beloved. Thinking about my sister who lost both her cats and her husband in the last 7 months. Ooh, so much family to lose. Our words of centering, of prayer, meditation, contemplation, whatever works for you this morning come from Nicholas D. Agosto, called A Prayer for Apathy. Nature is only ever at work. Take stock of the world around you, constantly in motion, in movement, each action suited to its end. Fire, with its ferocity and voracity, devours, ignites. It roars its presence and illuminates the front. From it, people recoil. It singes and scars, but it also clears space. Some of us must act like fire. Water, with its elegant, erosive powers, steady in the flow of its work, with direction, sustainability. A river is what nourishes and carves, not a typhoon which destroys indiscriminately, recedes, and leaves the people in drought. Some of us must act like water. Earth, with its food to eat and generative soil, its many forms of living companions to comfort us in times of solitude, of loss. Earth rejuvenates and holds us. Some of us must act like earth. Air, so integral to all of us, we must remind ourselves to notice our breath. Not one of us lives without it. Not one of us is untouched by it. It cannot help but give and forgive. Single-minded, it knows everything at once. Some of us must act like air. May we each model in our natures the best in nature, eternally changing, knowing only movement and an urge to create life. Amen, and blessed be.
This next song, A Prayer, by Richard Kimball, a lay leader in Portland. 83, Winds Be Still, in the gray hymnal. The words will be projected on the screen over my shoulder. As you choose.
These words, to contextualize and ground our dirt communion, come from UU educator and farmer Joy Berry. She writes, "The oldest stories tell us we came from the dust, and to dust we will return. But dirt, that's different. Dust is fine, often even sterile. Dirt, on the other hand, is made up of messier stuff. Dirt is mostly bits of weathered rock, broken down to clay and dust and sand. But the most important part of dirt, and what keeps it from being just bits of clay and sand and dust, is life and death. Organic matter from dead things like leaves and roots and bugs, and yes, larger animals too, make up the actual good stuff in dirt. Nothing would grow in bits of sand and clay and dust without the organic matter from once living things. As they decay and break down, they release vital nutrients and make what we call soil. And living creatures play together another important role. Animals like moles and earthworms move dirt around, putting air and more organic matter into the dirt as they go about their business, tunneling and growing under our feet. And we don't like all of this messiness. We can accept that we came from dust, and we'll go back to it. Ashes and dust and stone, those sound mythical and biblical and storied. They sound symbolic. But dirt, it's just common, and it's messy stuff that makes dirt that makes us a little uncomfortable. Maybe that's because it was drilled into us from the time we were babies not to get dirty, and certainly don't stay dirty. Anyone can get in trouble when you came in from playing with dirty hands and dirty feet. Any kids here have parents that tell them to go out and get dirty? And parents, what does it mean if you show up with an unclean child? What will people think? Dirt means more than just mud or dust. We say someone has a white-collar job if they don't get dirty while they work, and a brown-collar job if they do. Which one gets paid more? We say dirty diapers and soiled clothing, and when we mean that stuff is so yucky, we don't even want to go into the details. If somebody has a dirty mouth, a dirty mind, or dirty hands, that means they've said something, thought something, or done something wrong. And if you have dirt on someone, that means you know what it was. If you dish the dirt on someone, that means you tell what you know, exposing them as unclean. Our words reflect a deep discomfort with dirt and soil. We have some work to do around moral value of dirt. Our shared hunter-gatherer ancestors might be rolling in their graves to hear how uncomfortable we are. But the Victorian part of our shared American culture is happy with our strange psychological resistance to dirt. We need to get comfortable as a pig in mud with dirt. You see, dirt needs us to get over this whole obsession with clean thing. Only a few feet of dirt on this whole earth. You don't have to dig down very far before you hit solid bedrock, and in Tucson, even less. And yet, every terrestrial plant, from moss and ferns to potatoes and carrots, from dandelions and roses to kale and blackberries to apple trees to redwoods, all depend on it. It's been called the elastic skin of Earth, and yet we treat it like, well, dirt. We spray it with pesticides, we drench it with antibacterial chemicals, we kill the parts of soil that make it alive. But that can all change. We need a new story. Scientists are still learning all the time about the world around us, and they are learning that dirt is good for us. Not just while it grows our foods and holds down our tree roots, but good for us like sunshine and water, like vitamins. How? It turns out that children who get dirtier have less allergies and less asthma as they grow. True story. You ever see a toddler eating dirt when you put them down outside? It turns out that tiny bits of ancient dead creatures and soil create something called endotoxins, and that when ingested, stimulate our immune system. And that way, our human blueprint seems programmed to expect. And who here loves gardening? And how many of you wear gloves when you do it? A few of us. We are finding out now that exposure to dirt actually increases your serotonin levels because dirt has something in it that is a natural antidepressant. So dirt really can make us happier and healthier. It's good for us, like church. We know dirt happens. We know that dirt is what happens when you live a life joyfully, voraciously, authentically. When you are too busy cooking food and loving people and dancing and making things to keep every corner spotless every moment of the day. That's when dirt happens. We knock it off our shoes, we wash it off our faces, we sweep it off the floors, but it is a part of us, and it should be. It is too powerful a thing to forget and dismiss. Dirt is foundational. The readier we are to put down roots and to grow and to bloom and to seed, the more we need dirt. And we are a faith that says, come, come, whoever you are. Bring your imperfection. Bring your truest, most authentic self here. Bring your dirt. We've all got it. It's part of what just makes us whole human beings. And today, many of you have brought a little bit of your dirt. A little bit of the soil where you find peace, find power, find your joy. Maybe from your garden, from a playground, from your favorite hiking trail. Maybe from the resting place of someone or something that you loved. There's a power in that. I invite you to now come down and share your dirt with this community of faith and trust that we will do something miraculous and transformative with it. If you have dirt with you, please bring it up and add it to our shared pot. And there are 3 bowls of soil here. So if you didn't bring any, there's some for you to share. Come now and join in our dirt communion. in the knowledge that we are all of us imperfect, but come together in communities of grace, we bless this dirt. In the belief that we humans share an origin and a common destiny, we bless this dirt. In a sustaining faith in human redemption and growth, we bless this dirt. In the wisdom of science that tells us dirt is an important part of our own health and happiness, we bless this dirt. In understanding that all living creatures are connected and have the right to healthy soil, we bless this dirt. And in hopes that we all continue to grow together in mind, body, and spirit, we bless this dirt.
One Sunday each month is designated as Share the Plate Sunday, when we give half of the non-pledge collection to a community organization whose mission we support. Generosity is a spiritual practice, and Share the Plate is an expression of our mission. The Casa Maria Soup Kitchen is our Share the Plate recipient this month, and Brian Flagg is here to tell us about it.
Howdy. I love coming to the university, to the Unitarian Church. Like, I'm a practicing Catholic, and it's real different here. Starting with the fact that we don't got women up front being the priests, you know? It's time for a change, right? You guys. Anyways, I live and work at Casa Maria. I've lived and worked there for more than 40 years. We're part of the Catholic worker movement. The main ministry that we do is a soup kitchen, and we're open every single morning of the year except Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so the door swings open at 6, and we put out coffee till 7:30 or 8, and then we serve bagged lunches. We have big, huge pots of soup, and we do about 400 bagged lunches in a day. And it goes all morning long and into about 1 o'clock. And so we do that, and we also serve about 80 families. And the Catholic worker, it was founded in the 30s in New York City by a woman named Dorothy Day. And anyways, like the ethic of the Catholic worker is to live, they call it voluntary poverty, but who wants to be poor? It's not really a good term. I think living simple is the better way of putting it. So we have a community of about half a dozen people, and we live there, and we pay ourselves $10 a week out of the money that we beg. And then the people, like, they get their expenses taken care of too. And so we live simple. And then the whole goal is to every day try to practice the works of mercy and the works of justice. So the works of mercy is pretty obvious, like the soup kitchen. We need help every single morning from 8:30 to 10:30. And we also need donations. We exist entirely on private donations. We don't get any government money. And we need clothes. We have a big clothes room. We don't sell anything. It goes on people's backs and out the door. So we do that. But the thing that makes us different than a lot of charitable things is we think that you need to ask, why are there so damn many poor people in the richest, wealthiest, mightiest country the world has ever known? And isn't that sinful? So our founder did that, and our movement has done that forever. And so in addition to doing charity, it needs to be linked to doing justice and asking those questions why and doing something about it. And so we've always tried to do that at Casa Maria and in the Catholic worker movement. And the issue right now is like housing, The rents have gone up 40% in Tucson in the last 4 years. People can't afford the rent, but they can't afford like a dollar bill or even less to buy a little blue fentanyl pill. And it's just, people are beaten down, and it's more kind of awful than I've ever seen it. And I've been there my whole adult life. So anyways, my thing here is just to say thank you to the Unitarians for persevering and for being here every Sunday and for passing the plate every month and for being involved in the community. And things look dark right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. But what can you do? You gotta keep showing up here and asking the questions why there's so many poor people and so much war and genocide going on with our taxpayer dollars. And then like keep fighting. So my hat's off to the Unitarians. Thank you very much.
So today, half of all cash donations and half of the amount of checks made out to UUCT that have "Share the Plate" written in the memo line will go to the Casa Maria Soup Kitchen. If you're joining us virtually, you can send a check to the church office with "Share the Plate" in the memo, or give online at uuctucson.org/donate. Also, if you don't have your checkbook with you, if you give online, be sure to indicate that your donation is for Share the Plate. Generosity is one of our core values, and so this church is supported by the voluntary generosity of all who join with us. The offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation of our shared hopes and responsibilities. The ushers will pass the basket around to receive your donations.
I'm tall. I apologize. I have to bend over a little bit here. Good morning. My name's Alicia, and I'm one of your Board of Trustees members. I'm actually substituting today for Jan, who's supposed to be here, but's out ill, so I just hope she heals fast enough so that I don't have to substitute again next week. But my portfolio is communications. So I work with Thomas, Frank, Reverend Bethany on the website, the domain, the email hosting, and social media. I want to invite everyone to our social hour after the service in Goddard Hall. which is out the double doors behind you and to your left. There'll be coffee, iced tea, lemonade, snacks, and good company. Social hour food and refreshments are free for all, and donations are appreciated to cover our costs. And today they have a special lunch of baked penny for $7, so I encourage you all to take part in that. If you're new and want to stay in touch with us, you can fill out a guest information card in the Welcome Center in Goddard Hall. You can also find a virtual guest information card in the newcomer section on our website. This is your last chance to get tickets for the Holly Near concert here at UUCT this Thursday, November 21st at 7:30 p.m. Holly Near has been singing for justice since the 1970s, and her music will be especially relevant and inspiring this post-election time. Celeste will be selling tickets for Holly Near at a table in Goddard during the social hour. Tickets will be on sale in Goddard after church today. Oh, I just said that, but see our email blast, our UUCT website, or the Facebook page for the link. If possible, don't wait to buy tickets. Sorry, I got a second announcement in there, just a last minute. The annual Mata Ortiz pottery sale that has for years been sponsored by UUCT is being held here today at Harlow's Nursery on Pima Street. Stop by there until 5 p.m. to show your support. I used to do pottery years ago and had heard of Mata Ortiz from Boston. They're world renowned. Finally, as a member of your board, I want to share that we have a need to manage our social media presence. We actually have a Facebook page. So if you or anyone you know is knowledgeable about social media and would like to volunteer, please come talk to me or someone on the board after the meeting. And if you want to just talk for any other reason, you can just talk with me during the social hour or any other board member. Thank you.
Here is a reading from Social Transformation Facilitator and Consultant Ankaya Windward. She writes, "A long time ago, I turned over a big rock and saw creatures I considered yucky, scurrying away from the light. They were slimy and many-legged and moved in ways that surprised and revolted me. I was 5. Since then, I learned that the slimy things were slugs, the many-leggeds were centipedes, and the yucky moving things were pillbugs. All were part of the natural world, and I've come to take delight in and appreciate their roles in the cycle of life. I didn't linger by the rock when I was 5 because I didn't understand what I was seeing. I wish that I had been willing to stay and gaze and learn. The natural world is wondrous and has much to teach us. These days, collectively, we are turning over the old, tired boulders of white supremacy and patriarchy. Unlike the rock of my childhood, we are upending social constructions which have nothing to do with the natural world. What we are discovering is disturbing and revolting, and we are right to be repulsed by what we see. That said, it's time that we stopped being shocked. There's nothing natural about the ugliness of systemic oppression, and while we might be surprised by what's happening, it's important that we honor and retain our repugnance. Otherwise, it is easy to become complicit with it. As an adult living in oppressive systems, I find it important that I don't linger while watching deliberately constructed hatefulness, which is designed to capture my attention and thereby keep me off balance and off purpose. I lose power every time I allow myself to forget what I'm here for and to become distracted by the latest ugliness. Let's pay attention to what we're paying attention to. Our old systems are in the process of disintegration and decay. They are literally falling apart in front of our eyes. Some of us will resist and stand guard, making sure that the rot and fallout are minimized. Some of us will provide hospice, ensuring that the systems die well and thoroughly. Some of us will tend to the victims and survivors. Some of us will design and create new paths to a common and integrated future. All are needed, and it's essential that each of us understands and embraces our particular part in all of it. It's also crucial that we support and hold up the efforts of those doing work that is different than ours. No one task is more or less important than any other. All of it is honorable and necessary. The cycle of birth, growth, decline, and death is a natural metaphor for what is happening on the global political stage. We are witnessing the death rattle of patriarchy and his handmaiden white supremacy. I suggest that rather than poke around in the gore and continually make ourselves sick from toxic exposure, we attend to our collective well-being, remembering to care for each other and the earth, and to make art and love as we resist, mourn, heal, and build. We need every single one of us, those who revolt, those who restore, and those who dream and create the futures we're committed to. Let's refuse to be bamboozled or fascinated by the ongoing and seemingly relentless ugliness of oppression. Let's insist on remembering that we are all kin and that repairing the world is both our birthright and our responsibility. We can and will do this. I know, for I have seen the future, and it includes all of us.
You heard Akaya Winwood, among other things, in that, encouraging us to take care of our collective and individual well-beings. And Joy Berry called us to get comfortable with dirt, the messiness of life, suggesting that even eating dirt in small quantities might be good for us. Some dirt, we could also say. So we are going to invite you today to eat dirt, metaphorically, right? And actually literally. More specifically, we are going to invite you to eat worms in dirt, which, if you are not familiar, is a delicious treat combining chocolate or vanilla pudding. You're going to tell us which one. Crushed up Oreos and gummy worms. So in a moment, we're going to invite you to head to the back of the room to make your own metaphorical worms in dirt. The pudding, Oreos, and gummy worms are all gluten-free. Yes, the Oreos are gluten-free. We got special ones. The only thing vegan is vegan is the Oreos. So if that's your preference, we don't have cups, just take a bunch of that. We have napkins. You can take some Oreos. And you're welcome to start eating your worms and dirt once you come back to your chair and are getting situated. And as you eat, may you remember that dirt is sacred and so are you. May you remember that worms play a critical role in our ecosystem and so do you. May you remember that living is meant to have some sweetness and some richness, and you can find both if you seek them out. And may you remember that here is a place where we face the messiness and the sweetness and the sacredness of life. And in this particular time, we do it together in communion. Go on into the back. We'll help you get your worms and dirt figured out.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da Thank you. I'm gonna use while the last few people are walking through and to facilitate us leaving the service at some point today, I'm gonna lead us into the last hymn. Try not to choke if you're eating still. Just sing as you can. This last song is many of your favorites. It's one of those songs. Peter Mayer is one of those songwriters who makes me feel as if music will make the world a better place. And bring that to this last singing. We are going to make this our postlude today, but the chalice will be extinguished, I presume. He looks carefully at, so we're going to sing the postlude now, and then the chalice will be extinguished in just a moment. So the last hymn, AV, if you can put blue, there it is. You're ahead of me. Blue Boat Home, this will be our postlude. Sing or stand or whatever you want. I don't care. Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat. Some my sail and move my rudder as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companion, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat.
Please read with me these words of chalice extinguishing by Adrian Rich. My heart is moved by all I cannot save. So much has been destroyed. I have to cast my lot with those who age after age perversely, with no extraordinary power, reconstitute the world.
Because the way we move things around, there's no postlude. That's it. Go enjoy lunch. Go enjoy church.